Hello and welcome to Just One More Coffee. Can I get you one? Kettle's just boiled. Hang on, I'll be back in a minute. Welcome today to my full review of the Seiko Golden Tuna, or at least that's what I'm calling it anyway. Technically the model number is the SNE 498P. Now I unboxed this one maybe about 6 weeks ago, so I feel I've got a reasonable handle on it now. It also made a cameo appearance in Loom Wars episode 5. Now I admitted in the unboxing that I have studiously avoided the Seiko Tuna range. It is indeed the last of the main ranges, the Seiko Prospects ranges, under $500 that I haven't reviewed on the channel, because I just thought it would be a giant hockey puck on my wrist. It wouldn't suit me at all and it wouldn't be wearable at all. But I should have known better, shouldn't I? Seiko really are the masters of making a big watch wearable. And there are numerous examples of that. The Seiko SKX was great for guys with smaller than average wrists. I've already gone on record saying that I think the Mini Turtle is the best watch for guys with smaller than average wrists. Now I'm not suggesting that if you have a 6-inch wrist you should rush out and buy a Seiko Tuna, but if you're a guy with average size wrists and you've been put off by that whopping 46 point something diameter dimension, don't necessarily be put off. I think it's still perfectly wearable. Let's flip the camera and have a look at it before this coffee wears off. Indeed, let's crack on with the review while I'm still buzzing. Now, I'm actually quite pleased that I have left it this long before I got my hands on a Seiko Tuna, because this model, the SNE 498P, and a couple of other solar quartz versions that were released towards the end of 2018 are not only the smallest Tuna models that Seiko have ever released at 46.7mm in diameter, not particularly small, but they're also amongst the cheapest that Seiko have ever released as well. The official Australian retail price on this one from the Seiko boutique is 675 AUD, that's about 500 USD. I didn't pay that much for this one. I paid half of that price for this one. Perhaps that's one of the reasons why I've taken such a shine to this little Golden Tuna. Admittedly, I didn't get the full 5-year warranty that you get from the boutique, but I can live with that. Now, I'll leave a link in the description of the video to a great article on the SPRINGBAR.com detailing the history of the Seiko Tuna model range, all the way back to 1975, as you can see here from their very handy infographic. These Golden Tuna models, they've been making them in various forms from 1986 onwards, with a variety of different movements in them. They even do a rose gold Emperor Tuna Marine Master model, so there's a fair breadth to the range as well. Now this one here is ISO rated, but it's only ISO rated at 200 meters, so perhaps not quite the true hardcore saturation dive watch that the Tuna was meant to be originally. But 200 meters is still going to be plenty for most people. So as mentioned, just under 47mm in diameter, but only 12mm thick. Because it's quartz, only 12mm thick. But really for me, the key dimension with this one, the reason why it wears so well, is a super compact lug to lug of 45mm. 22mm lug width, and on the supplied Seiko silicone rubber strap, this really is a treat. So soft and comfortable. This one weighs in at 97 grams. So stainless steel case, which you can't actually see because it is entirely shrouded by the shroud. Stainless steel bezel, stainless steel crown. The shroud is made of a ceramic material. Now I have done a bit of googling, and apparently the ceramic material can shatter more readily than it would do if it was stainless steel, obviously, which would bash and bend and scrape and scratch, but it wouldn't shatter. So do bear that in mind if you are keen on one of these and you intend to treat it roughly. There are plenty of aftermarket vendors selling upgraded shrouds in various colours and so on. Hardlex crystal, because it's a Seiko, you're not getting sapphire on this one anyway. Dead flat Hardlex with no anti-reflective undercoating, but you do get Seiko's fantastic proprietary Lumibright loom. I'll put the loom video, a macro loom video, in there now for you. The loom on this watch is excellent. Lumibright gives you that bright green colour, and I was delighted to see that the bezel, rather than just having a loomed pip, is loomed all the way round to 15. I haven't seen that from a Seiko before. I don't know why they don't do it more. It looks great and lasts for ages. Here we are towards the end of the 20-minute test period and still glowing brightly. Very much fit for its purpose as a dive watch then. And that shroud not only protects the case and therefore the watch itself from accidental damage, it also prevents you from accidentally using the bezel. You really have to be quite specific, kind of putting your fingers at the 130 and 730 and using the bezel that way. But when you do, it's got that kind of classic Seiko notchety, ratchety feel. It is quite pleasant, and this one, does not a bad job of aligning at the 12. Zoomed right in on the dial, and you know what? That chapter ring lines up as well, and the second hand hits all its markers. What's going on today, Seiko? It is a great looking watch, I think, this one. The gold, the black, the matte black dial, I think the colour scheme is fantastic. Classic Seiko layout here, the big triangular index there at the 12. Everything's just printed on Seiko. The Prospex X, solar and diverse 200 meters, denoting that it is ISO certified. Large circular indexes at the 3, the 6 and the 9, smaller circular indexes everywhere else. Date framed at the 4 o'clock. Now they've put the date at 4 o'clock today because after dark, as I showed you, you still get the benefit of that large index at the 3. Handset again, classic Seiko stuff here, nice lateral brushing, and I do like the blacked out tip to the lollipop end of the needle second hand. And like I said, the silicone strap is a cracker. We've got the Great Wave emblem on the bottom here and a fantastic brushed Seiko gold retainer and slightly oversized buckle there. These big retainers that they put on the silicone straps, you know, if you're working at a desk or something, they can scuff and scrape. They got a bit of a sharp edge on them, but I'll forgive it that because they just look so damn good. High polished screw down stainless steel case back, screw down crown helping with that 200 meters of water resistance. You've got that classic Seiko Great Wave style graphic in the middle there and the Prospex X. Unlike a couple of the Citizen Eco drives that I have reviewed recently, there isn't a warning saying, hey, don't bother taking the back off. These modules aren't user serviceable. So the module in this one is a V157. I'll pop another graphic up here. You can see that with a mere 9 hours of sunlight, this module can charge and keep on ticking for up to 10 months at a time. I reckon there's a real advantage to these solar powered Eco Drive style watches. If it's an occasional wear piece, if it's a grab and go watch, I think they're fantastic so long as you don't mind the tick tick tick. And stated tolerances of plus to minus 15 seconds per month rather than per day that you get out of a 4R certainly don't hurt either. But let's get this one on wrist and see how it wears. It may resemble a can of tuna, but I don't think it wears like a can of tuna. I think it wears fantastically. I've got a 7-inch wrist for your reference. My normal set of parameters, I'm normally inclined to wear watches somewhere between 38 and 42, hence why I avoided this big boy at 47, but it doesn't wear that big at all. Slim, short lug to lug at 45, less than 100 grams, it wears nicely. So that's the proper overhead shot, and if any shot that I'm going to show you today is going to reveal whether the watch is too big for me or not, it's this one, and I just don't think it does. I think it still looks pretty good. I guess it's a small watch in a big suit. It's a 40mm diameter across the bezel, and yet that big shroud, that big protection is what puffs it up to 48, but it does so at the bottom end of the wrist, which I think visually helps make it look like a smaller watch. Fantastic legibility here. It's a dive watch. That's the point. Well proportioned. Big indexes, big hands, it looks great. Outside in some natural light, you can see there's no anti-reflective coating on that Hardlex crystal, but it doesn't do too badly for itself. Again, the kind of white on black always helps with legibility in natural light conditions. And that's it on wrist. I'm inclined to wear watches like this above the knuckle. I mean, what's the point of having a really nice, comfortable silicone strap and then letting the thing flop around below the knuckle? Please leave me a comment. Let me know if you would wear this one loose. I don't see the point. I would definitely wear it nice and high, nice and tight. So as much as I've been charmed by the delights of the golden tuna, there will still be moans, there will still be niggles. Hardlex. It's Hardlex mineral crystal, it's not sapphire crystal. If you want to run one of these long term and you're anything like robust with it, you will inevitably end up scratching that at some point, and your beautiful golden tuna won't look quite so crash hot with a couple of big scratches across the crystal. Similarly, that insert I believe is also made of Hardlex, so there's the chance you'll end up with a matching scratch across the bezel insert as well. It isn't going to be nearly as durable as if it were ceramic or sapphire. As much as I've praised the watch for having a compact lug to lug at 45. Not everyone is going to want to wear a 47mm diameter dimension watch. And I did mention, as lovely as that retainer is, it's got a sharp edge. Easy DIY job though to get rid of that and replace it with a piece of plastic, for example. And then there's the question of that single tick per second. I know some guys just aren't into quartz at all. That's fine, you're probably not watching the video at this point anyway, and there are much more expensive Seiko Tunas for you further up the range. I have no problem at all with this, particularly because it's solar. I think that's a real kind of happy medium. You're not going to be taking the case back off. You're not going to be compromising the integrity and the water resistance rating of the watch every couple of years replacing a battery. 10 months between charges. I can really see this one as being a great weekend warrior for some. Then there's the question of value. 675 AUD list price, that might be pushing it a little bit. As I said, do shop around. I got a great deal on this one. Also, don't be afraid to look at the Citizen Promaster Eco Drive ranges. They also offer a similar movement, a very similar look as well, with similar lineage and heritage, but they don't have that signature shroud that the Tuna does. So there you have it, the Seiko Tuna. I really shouldn't have put off buying and then reviewing one of these for as long as I did. I think it's a great watch. Okay, it's quartz. Not everybody's going to be into quartz, but I'm increasingly inclined towards having one or two of these solar eco drive quartz style watches in my collection. Fantastic grab and go pieces, fantastic occasional wear watches. I think if you can get one of these at a good price, you should. Thanks for watching. I will see you soon.